Hello, howdy.
Hey, it's Gabe outside in the snowstorm. How you doing, Gabe?
Good to hear from you. The following is a live broadcast of the Eddie Gabe Show. It contains adult content. It also contains racial slurs. I've heard it contains talk of abortion, rape, feces, dog vomit, and cancer. I just got this is in. It's been rated MA for the Entertainment Software Rating Board of America. If you are offended by such content, disable your speakers and plug your ears. Prepare to be delighted, whited, righted, and possibly knighted.
Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the No Holds Barred Radio Network, I'm being told, is proud to present to you the rating internet champions of the world. This is the Addie and Gabe Show. This is Gabe.
Live out. That was Gabe live from the remote location. He's just running.
Just ran back in.
Ran back into the studio.
Wow. I am kind of big.
How do you feel?
I'm tired. It's cold out there.
It is.
Time.
Oh, man. I got to roll my sleeves up. We've got a big show planned tonight.
Oh, look at all that content.
I got a lot of work to do.
That's almost an entire page of content. Look at that.
This is probably the most active agenda we've ever had on the show.
Active.
This has to go into your book.
Okay.
This really 3 hole punches and everything.
Okay.
All right.
Right here.
Yep. Live December 21st, 2010, Tuesday. It is a brand new edition of the one, the only Addie and Gabe Show live on NHBRadio.com. I am Addie.
And this is Gabe. And you can give us a call, 1-877-642-5483. That's 1-877-NHB-LIVE. Or you can contact us on AIM and Yahoo at NHB Live. Or if you're still the last person who's got MSN, it's contact@NHBRadio.com. You can email us at Gabe or Addie at AddieandGabeShow.com.
I love it. I have yet to get a single email.
I got one. It was from you. It was fantastic.
I think at the beginning of the show, we really need to yell more. We need to yell louder.
You need to yell louder. Well, then what are you worried about?
I'm worried about sinking money into this house.
You're not sinking money into it. It's an investment.
I'm worried about getting ripped off.
That's... All right, let's just go on to the next subject because there's no reasoning with you. I can't help you overcome your fears because you can't. You're too afraid to call up and change to cable. You can't even upgrade your internet without some fear. But that's fear paperwork.
I really want to upgrade my internet, but it really terrifies me. I've actually thought about just going ahead and getting cable internet alongside of my DSL, and because I don't want to go through the hassle of canceling my DSL.
What?
So then I was thinking, well, then
wait a minute, you're gonna pay an extra $70 a month or whatever they're charging you
because it's easy.
So you don't have to make.
Is that crazy or what?
Yeah, just for the what?
Our old friend Addie, who I've not spoken to in years, who would rather pay 2 bills than cancel a service. That was.
Well, I mean, maybe you can I'm going to keep the old one in case the new one sucks.
That was not the reason why he was doing that.
I get it. I get it. I mean,
he could have lied, but we all know what his real motivation was.
Because he was just too lazy.
Yeah, exactly. That was Addie, and that is Addie.
I like the Rocket Mortgage ads. It's not. I think it's related. It's a banking service that has a checking account. Is it Rocket? Yeah. Anyway, basically they say they monitor the things that you pay for and kind of remind you, hey, here's what you're paying for. Did you want these?
Yeah. So we're just
and they'll cancel for you. Saves you the embarrassment of some people just have a hard time calling to get shit canceled.
We got someone writing in who I don't think's watched the show before. I've not seen this name before. XBoobTube X Smith writes in what it is.
What it is.
What it is.
What it is. Hey.
Now,
what it is, XBoobTube
now,
X Smith.
When I first read that, I was going dyslexic, and I thought that the person was writing in, what is it? Although maybe BoobTube is dyslexic and meant to type in what is it, because the topic on the stream this week is a bag of what, and that's because our
Did
good
you
friend.
Did you get a bag of crap?
I don't know what I got a bag of, and that's why I asked a bag of what? Because
This came in the mail or something?
um, no, it fell out of the sky onto my porch.
So delivered.
It was delivered
By a drone, maybe if you if you
it
saw
did
it happen.
it did get delivered, and surprisingly, the post office figured out the correct house to deliver it to, because
Wow.
my town has a street that has the same name that ends in Court. Now I live on a certain street that name ends in Terrace. You know, some people live on a road, some people live on a street, some people live on a boulevard.
Yeah.
Some kinky people like to live on lanes, and then you get a court. Well, I'm on a terrace.
Oh, I would love to live on Penny Lane. That would be nostalgic.
There you go. There you go. Well, with inflation, I think it's quarter lane now, right?
Or quid. I'm like, what is that?
But and we're all here, and so our good friend Dune sent packages, and they just happened to get delivered to the terrace rather than, because actually last week I had some packages come, and one of the packages was delivered by a dude that lives on the Court version of my street name, who found that he was going to drop it off to the post office, but he didn't have enough time to get to the post office, and here was like quicker or closer, to which I was like, well, then why would you have gone to the post office if you had more time? Like, you know.
I would have said, thank you very much. See, that's what I would do if I knew where the
I
address
didn't
was.
say that to him.
Yeah, right.
Because
right.
I wasn't
Yeah.
here. Kristen took the package and said thank you. My question was, what was that? So Mars lives on a drive. Hello, Mars.
Hey, Mars.
And BoobTube asks, how's it hanging? Well, it's hanging. It's hanging.
Hey, my bro.
Mars is a little quiet this week. But
Sorry, just a
then
second.
again, it's
I'm
probably
moving my
Brian
head,
that's
I'm
a little
moving my
loud.
microphone, I'm moving me. Just
Oh.
a second. I'm moving things around. I'm
Moving.
messing with audio settings still.
Okay, it's all good.
Yeah, we need to just Mars's setting.
So Dune sent 2 packages to this house.
Sparky.
Hello, Sparky.
I'm waving like an idiot.
Yes. Hello,
This arm on the right is there. It is.
Yeah. So Dune sent me 2 packages. One of them showed up on Saturday, and I opened it up live on the Dune and Johnny show yesterday.
You live on the terrace?
I live on a terrace.
Yeah. Okay. But there's So all right. Continue. You got a couple of packages from Dune.
Thank you.
Dune.
I wasn't prepared for this. I don't usually get allowed to continue. Yeah.
I only interrupted you because I want to make sure I understood.
Okay. Exactly. So the first package arrived on Saturday, and we opened it on the show yesterday, and it was Dune sent me a still in its original box K-Tel record selector. And
Okay, is that normal?
so what's that?
Is that
Oh,
normal?
yes. That
Okay.
sounds great. Awesome.
Thanks.
So that was yesterday's excitement. Now today, this envelope arrived, and I should probably hold that with the side that doesn't have the shipping label.
Well,
And
was the last thing that Dune sent you a pair of thingies that you got from Amazon?
he did. Yes, he sent me a squishy. Well, actually, I don't know if he sent me that or if I ordered that. I
'Cause
remember.
I thought you sent him one and then he sent
I know
you
I
one.
sent him one.
Oh, okay.
I know
Okay.
I sent him one.
Okay.
And I know I have a pair of them too. I think I bought both pairs of those, but I
Of
forget.
what are you talking about?
Well,
You should send one to Brian. His
So-
Asian wife would love them.
Yes.
that's not a bad
What is
idea.
it? What is it?
A
Dude,
pair of boobs.
Oh, squishy.
They're squishy.
I don't I don't know if Brian's wife would approve of this.
They're a pair of those like squishy stress balls, and they have nipples, and they're really quite attractive. You know.
Active. Oh no.
So, because the question came up on the show, can you buy boobs on Amazon? And we found out, yes, not only can you buy boobs on Amazon, you can send boobs to your friend if you have their address via Amazon. So Dune one day got a surprise squishy heavy package in his mailbox. And
Heavy package?
well, I mean, it's heavier than a normal envelope. Not heavy, but I mean, it had.
But it would fit into the mailbox.
I think it fit in the mailbox. It fit in my mailbox. I know they squished the boobs that came here into my mailbox, but anyways,
now, how wide is you got a regular mailbox? So you've got a big opening, or do you have
it's the type of mailbox that you would mount on the wall of your house if you had walk-up delivery service.
Oh yeah, so it's big.
Which it turns out the flippers just put that on there because that was easier and cheaper than installing a pole and putting a mailbox on, which the post office demands people do. And after a few angry phone calls between me and the post office, we came to a compromise in that I would keep the same mailbox I had hung on the wall, but I'd take it off the wall and hang it to the railing of the stairs in my yard. So that way they would walk up to the steps, but not have to walk up the steps.
Right.
Yeah. So
I like Warhawk's comments. The Dolly Parton edition?
no, they were not quite. I don't have that big of a mailbox. Anyways, now Dune has described this envelope as having a bag of cocks, and I'm not sure. It doesn't feel like cock, but then again, I only felt one. Anyways, should we open it up or should we tease this more?
Oh, let's open it.
I mean, we're only 2 minutes into the show.
It's fine, but
hey, do the opening music and then we conclude.
You know what? We should do that. That's a great idea. We haven't done that in so long because
I know. And hey, we're only 2 minutes into the show. Officially,
we are 2 minutes into the show, which we call
Insert title here.
The show that changes days so frequently. We put a placeholder in. I'm Johnny Gators. Along with me is Brian Blues, Sir Mars, and Warhawk is accusing us of being cock teasers. So
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Thank you.
We're gonna get a reputation.
Well, I already established a reputation for myself this weekend as a bad plumber. So let's recap.
That's story number 2, right?
No, that's story number 1. we're gonna.
I thought
we're teasing this. We're teasing the cock. We'll come back to it.
So
because we got video.
Gators, did it happen like the Three Stooges? You turn on the water faucet and the shower goes on. Was that the result?
The Three Stooges, they turned on the TV and there was an image of a waterfall on the TV, and then the water sprayed out, blowing out the tube because they mixed up the electric pipes with the water pipes, rounding the water.
That was a great classic. Yeah,
that was. And that scene was included in the Curly Shuffle video. So there's that too. There is that too. But anyways, if I pull up my YouTube channel, I made a clip. I did some streaming this weekend. And what I did was because I got to get ready to host Christmas at this house. I am on second Facebook dumbass that doesn't know how to reply to inquiries with a dining room table. So I've now found that no, it's not just one dude with a dining room table that doesn't know how to respond to hello, I'm interested. I'd like to talk about buying your table that you listed for sale and indicated you would like to sell to someone with cash. I'm a dude with cash and I'm nearby and I'm friendly too. Just don't watch me do plumbing on the internet. I'm friendly too, trust me. And but anyways, Yeah, so I've given up on that table. I've actually flagged that listing as the seller doesn't intend to sell the item, so that maybe Facebook can.
Really, you did that?
I have no fucks to give. I'm pissed off at this dude for like.
Oh.
I have held off on pursuing other tables because I don't like them as much. If this dude would have just said, "Dude,
is that guy still listing it?"
Yes, it's still listed.
He's a
Here's the thing.
freaking moron.
I reached out to the guy. I asked, "Is it still available?" He wrote back, "It is." And then I wrote back, "Oh, that's great. I'd love to take a look at it. What's your availability?" No answer. So every few days, I send another inquiry going, "Hey, I'm still looking. I see it's still listed. I am still interested. Please let me know what's up." And I've done this like over the course of.
Does the guy have a price?
Well, the price was originally $150, but then it was marked down to $1. And I don't know if $1 was just to make it show up higher, basically, hey, I'll haggle, or if it's like, hey, I just want to get rid of it. I got to talk to the guy.
I got money in my pocket with your name on it.
I got money in my pocket.
His house.
So, well, he doesn't list his address, and that would be creepy if he did. You know, so I finally flagged the thing as buyer does not intend to sell, because I'm just pissed off at this dude, and I don't care anymore. I've given up. You know, I wasn't going to do anything dickish.
You got a really nice table from Walmart.
Well, I don't know about that. So I moved on to another one, and I reached out, and no reply again. Like, what is the deal with these people listing tables for sale on Facebook that won't reply to inquiries?
Sucks is what your story is, right?
No, the people on Facebook Marketplace sucks.
Have you had successes there?
Well,
I've never tried it.
I did buy a cassette deck on my second attempt to buy one. The first one was that.
Oh yeah, that's right. We had that story.
I've bought a few things on Facebook Marketplace. Now Sparky writes in, if they don't reply, it is sold already. Well, here's the thing. Two things. One, if it's sold already, then how come the listing has stayed up for yet another week and they've just ignored my inquiries rather than say, dude, it's gone? And two, a lot of people get really pissy about the opening line of, is it still available? I can't tell you how many ads I've read that go, if you're reading this, it's available, so don't ask.
And I posted that on Craigslist. Hey, it's available. Don't start off with that.
I'm going to start off with
you go with, wow.
It's the logical thing to start up with. Fuck you, Brian. I can't stand people with this attitude.
You just say, hey, this is what I want. Give me a call.
For all I know, 5 people have written in. You're prioritizing the order and getting back to people, and you're getting ready to take the ad down. It doesn't come down automatically the instant the first person reaches
since
out
I've
to
never
you.
used Facebook Marketplace, when you send something, is he getting a private email? Is he getting a DM?
A message through Facebook Messenger. It creates a conversation with the listing as the topic through Facebook Messenger. That is in a marketplace section
and it's private.
Messenger.
It's not like you're telling the world.
It's private. No, it's a private conversation.
Give me a call. I'm dying to get this thing.
It's a private conversation between the seller, the buyer, and what's its face.
I would love to give you that $150 that you originally asked, or even higher if the number is bigger.
Yeah.
We can chat.
So, anyways, the point is that I'm still looking for a table, but I'm also working on, tidying up and fixing up the house. And one of the things
I think you're right. He can't always share with me.
Yeah. That is true. So one of the things I wanted to take care of that was on the to-do list for, before Christmas is that when I go to use the restroom, I hear a drip, drip, drip coming from the water controls on the bidet. And I'd rather not have company over for Christmas and hear and find that I have a leak in my bathroom. And the problem is that the bidets that I buy cannot handle the high water pressure of my town's water. And I was already warned about this back in February. I had the furnace service.
Yeah, so they told you to get a flow restrictor.
They told me to they told me to hire someone to install a flow restrictor. I told them I think I could do that myself. They laughed at me and I sent them away. And so
so related to plumbing.
Yeah.
We were at the beach house this weekend and woke up at 6 a.m. because the sprinklers came on and the valve went. Oh, fuck. Does that still happen when we're not there? So, and then in the morning, I actually went to Home Depot. No, Home Depot. I went to Ace Hardware and got a flow restrictor. This is a hose deal. So this is one of those timers that's on a hose, making a short story long.
Right.
So you can get a flow restrictor, but they only had a flow restrictor for 3/4 inch pipe thread.
Oh.
I've got hose thread. So not only got a flow restrictor, but I got the 2 adapters that goes from hose thread to pipe thread, or the other way around, depending on how you look at it.
I had to buy some adapters too. So now remember, I bought the flow restrictor that was a shark bite one, but it didn't come with all the adapters it needed. So I called the manufacturer and they said, you need to talk to Amazon. And I'm like, Amazon gave me your number. And they said, no, this is for tech support. If you got missing parts, you can't send me a part. No, we can't do that. All right, well, fuck you. I'm going to return it. I actually got angry at the person for refusing to help. Mind you, it was the second person I talked to. The first person took my number, said someone would call me back and be able to help me. So then when I called back, because no one called me back, she's like, well, you're going to have to go on the Amazon. It's like, well, you could go fuck yourself is what you can do. And I'm going to return the item. Screw you if you're not going to help your customer.
Yeah.
So I decided.
Is this some special part or just plain adapter you were missing?
Well, it's supposed to have adapters because, well, the thing is that it turned out that they don't all come with 2 adapters, one on each side. Some of them only come with an adapter on one side, but this one was pictured with an adapter on both sides. Yeah. So I went to Lowe's website and I found another one. The one I found only had an adapter on one side, basically a screw-on adapter. It's called a Union.
Same brand.
No, this was a different brand, different thing.
Yeah.
So but I figured, okay, it's for a 3/4 inch pipe, so it's a 3/4 inch water flow restrictor. It's got the adapter on one side. It's got threads. So I need a female adapter to to go to pipe. So I put that in my cart. I order a bunch of stuff, and I submit the order. Now, mind you, I had changed web browsers that week. And we can get to that later. But I logged in to my Lowe's account with my email address and Lowe's password. I put the thing in my cart. I have only ever ordered the things to be picked up at one Lowe's store. I always go to the same Lowe's store. I always set that store as my store. And for some reason, going into a new browser caused the website to go, no, how about the second closest? And so I just hit the button on autopilot like I always do. I get the email with the QR code like I always do. I went into my car at 3:30 on a Friday and drove out to Route 1 like I shouldn't have done, because 3:30 was when rush hour was starting, and the town at some point in the past year put this extra light in that they didn't time right that causes a huge fucking backup between here and Route 1. So I had to sit through multiple cycles of 2 lights because it backs up that road to the light, so that when you're at the light turns green and you have to wait before you can actually proceed through the green light because all the traffic is backed up from the second light that's poorly timed and is just a bunch of bullshit for some side street that don't even need a light. And so finally I get to Lowe's. I park the car. I pull out the phone. I pull up the email, and it tells me that my order is ready to be picked up at Seekonk Lowe's. Mind you, I'm in the parking lot of North Attleboro Lowe's. And at this point, rush hour traffic is getting worse. Now, Mars suggesting prunes. So I should just chuck a box of prunes at the traffic light?
Yes. No, they said right beforehand there was a huge backup, and I said that prunes help with that.
Now, thank you. So I decided, fuck this. I'm going to drive back home. I will go to Seekonk Lowe's at like 8 p.m. tonight because they're open till 10 after rush hour traffic has died. So it'll just be a smooth sailing. So I go home pissed off that I did this whole round trip for nothing. I didn't say Seacock. I said, damn, it's in town. It's Seekonk. It's let me figure out how to spell it. Seekonk. Seekonk. It's a town nearby me. It's like a few towns over actually. So it's actually no. It's in one direction. It's the next town. So there you go. I think there's a few record stores in Seekonk. Someone told me. Anyways, so I go to Seekonk to get my order. I pick it up from the locker thing because I have a locker thing with a barcode scanner that scans a QR code from your email. And then the door swings open and you take your order and you go to your car and you take it out. You look at it. You find out that the water flow restrictor has no adapters on it because it's missing everything. You curse. You will storm back into the store up to the returns counter and go, this is missing the adapter. It's supposed to have an adapter on here. It doesn't have it. And so she proceeds to process a return and says, okay, you're all set. And I said, no, I still need a water flow restrictor. I want the adapter that it comes with, or I want to exchange it for one. She's like, all right, we'll have to call someone from plumbing over here. So they call the person from plumbing. He finds another one. He gives it to me. Now, mind you, I thought that a 3/4 inch water flow restrictor with threads on either end of it would accept a 3/4 inch adapter to a pipe fitting. So I had also put in my order a 3/4 inch adapter. The threads on the water flow restrictor are way bigger than the adapter. And it turns out that a water flow restrictor has threads on the outside and threads on the inside. And it's the threads on the inside that are the normal size threads. So I had to go get the right, I had to get basically a male adapter to screw into the interior threads because that'll take a standard 3/4 inch adapter. And so I got all that stuff. And so I kind of don't understand why they don't just make a water flow restrictor with a nut on both sides, a adapter on both sides, and the adapter on both sides just slides over the pipe and you solder that in directly, rather than the adapter on both sides has more threads, so you have to get threaded adapters and solder that. That's you know how many points of failure you're adding? I know how many points of failure I'm adding because I'm failing at those points. So anyways,
absolutely.
So I got my stuff home. I got out my roll of Teflon tape and taped up the threads, and I put everything together. And then Saturday, I put the thing alongside the pipe. I mark things with the marker. I cut it with the pipe cutter. I lined. I also turned off the water before doing all this.
Yes.
I lined things up, and I soldered my connections. Now, one thing that I followed from watching YouTube was that you want to take the rubber gasket out of the thing and before you solder things, because you don't want to melt or damage that rubber gasket. Mm-hmm. So after I was done soldering everything together and thought I was all set to just put the rubber gasket back in and put it all back together, I took it apart to put the rubber gasket back in. And I'm now going to share with you that moment of the stream where I went to unscrew the adapter to add the rubber gasket back in. So let me just find the right window to bring up here. Here we go. This is the corner of my basement. That's the water flow restrictor there. Now the top is pretty much screwed off at this point. I'm getting ready to just finish unscrewing it and pull it off. And this is what happened.
Now.
Oh.
Tight fit.
What have we learned?
So, yeah, my soldering job did not take.
Did you have flux?
I did have flux. I might have not had enough flux.
Or didn't get it hot enough.
I had the flame on there for quite a while.
Was it glowing red hot?
It was blue flame. Oh, the thing wasn't glowing red. No, I've never gotten a pipe to glow red, but
I want to make a.
I'm
gonna start burning crap to make a pipe glow red just to have it glow red now.
The second time I did it, it took me a while. For some reason, the solder just wasn't flowing nicely. It just kept blobbing off of the pipe, even though I had the pipe. Things are heated up so much. Everything metal nearby, I couldn't touch the pipe anywhere without feeling heat. So it was, the solder just really didn't want to flow. Maybe my flux went bad. Does flux go bad? I don't know.
No,
but I
really.
did eventually get the solder to flow enough. I was really concerned. I didn't think it was going to work. And so when I turned, but anyway, shortly after this happened, before I did the second attempt of soldering everything, notice how the bottom pipe swings quite a ways away. And that pipe goes down to basically the corner of my basement has a section that's cut away and is lower than the rest of the floor and goes to bare dirt. And that's where there's a meter. And I don't know if that's still an actively used meter because no one has ever asked to come in my house and look at that meter. So I don't know if that's still the meter, but they added an electronic adapter to it, or if there's a new meter outside the house with an electronic reader on it. I don't know.
Smart meter thinger. Yeah.
All I know is that there's a meter in that corner there. And so shortly after I'm like getting ready to like try this again and put everything back together, a hissing starts coming from the pit in front of me and water starts spraying out. That's when and the thing is that there is another shutoff before the meter where it first comes in, but that shutoff was like half buried and looked like it hadn't been touched in ages. So I already kind of figured I would only touch that as a last resort because I had no idea what was going to happen if I tried to touch that. And sometimes old seals, you touch them and they cause problems. So when the water started spraying, I was like, I better grab that handle now. And as soon as I touched the handle, it detached from the valve.
Did you have a crescent, one of those big ass like crescent wrench things with you?
I didn't, but the thing is that the water was not spraying a lot. It was just spraying a little bit. It was basically just making a mud puddle in the pit in the corner of my basement. It was not rising up. It was not showing a threat of flooding. I was not concerned about that stream. I was concerned
it was draining as fast as you were filling it.
It was draining as fast as it was filling. Actually, it eventually stopped on its own and drained out and was just mud. But the more you moved it, it started hissing again. I was just concerned that all hell was about to break loose. So at that point, I stopped streaming and I pulled up all the closest plumbers to me on Yelp, and I just started working down the list, leaving voicemails. And I was on my third call when one of the first two plumbers I left a voicemail for called me back. Mm-hmm. And the dude, friendliest guy, he basically was like, hey, dude, I am so sorry. I can't come out there today. I'm over working in another town, but I just want to give you a call back, let you know, and see what's up.
Yeah, I'm like, back.
Yeah. And so I said,
unlike the Facebook guy.
So I'm like, rather than work my way down this list, do you know someone who could help me out today? Could you recommend someone? He's like, oh, I know a guy, we'll call him Jack. I'll give you his number. This is his direct number. And so he gives me the guy's number and he says, if that don't work, here's another company I recommend you to, gives me their number too. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. And before I wrap up, he goes, well, hang on a second. Now just tell me what's going on. So the water's coming out. Is it before the meter, after the meter? I'm like, it's after. Oh, he's like, oh, okay. All you did was you loosen that nut. There's a nut after the meter there, and you loosen that a bit, and it's just spraying out of there. All you need to do is get in there with your pipe wrench and tighten it up. You'd be all set. I'm like, are you sure? It looks pretty old. It looks like it could. He's like, oh, no, you just need to tighten that nut. You just, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Just make sure that you get the wrench on there. You're going to turn it, righty tighty, lefty loosey. You got to hold the meter in place while he gave me some detailed instructions how to tighten a nut, which is good because, Well, and he told me all this after I told him about my soldering adventures and the adapter falling right off, which he laughed
Did he
at.
laugh?
He laughed. He laughed.
Good.
He's like, oh man, some of the things I've seen, like, yeah, I've been there, done that. Well, maybe not him, but seen that. But yeah, so he gave me in fact, yesterday he texted me and said, hey, what happened? like he actually followed up.
Oh,
he
cool.
he also sent me a picture of his business.
Exploded.
What's that?
He was probably curious to see if the basement exploded.
Yeah. He texted me a picture of his car. He's like, you never need a plumber in the future. Give me a call. Just couldn't get out there for the emergency call the day that I was ready to hand over my.
But he gave you numbers,
savings.
which is good.
Yeah. So, but he did better. He gave me free advice. That was
you know
great.
what? That is a pro right there. That's a pro. That's what you want.
Yeah.
I've had my plumber over here has done the same thing. He's like, dude, I live down the street. I mean, literally, my plumber lives like two condo houses down, but he was gone for the weekend. He's like, dude, I'll give you this number. The guy will be out there today. He'll fix it.
So yeah, that's awesome. And that's so after that, after I got things tightened up and got the leaking to stop, I put things back together without the rubber gasket in, and I got I cleaned the pipes off. I reapplied flux. I put everything back together, got my torch lit, got my solder, and I worked these pipes. I worked the solder in. I made sure it was good and soldered. But it was, like I said, it just wasn't flowing nicely. So I was getting quite frustrated by that point. After I was done, all I needed to do was take apart the pipe, put the rubber gasket in, and put it back together. Problem is the pipe is burning hot at this point. And I was in no mood to wait for the pipe to cool. So I'm like using my grips to undo the nut and undo the pipe fixture, which is easy enough to do without touching it. And then I, rest the rubber gasket in its spot. And every time I try to move the nut back onto the threads, it's knocking the gasket off. The gasket falls down. I put the gasket back on. I put it on there. I line it up. I turn. The threads don't catch. And that was a point where I was losing my cool, screaming at this pipe to just fucking screw. By the time I finally got to the point where the threads were catching, the pipe had cooled enough I could touch it. So it was now Sparky's suggesting I should have just gotten a wet towel. Oddly enough, I had plenty of wet towels near me from relieving the water pressure earlier. There's a song we have for this, and it goes a little something like,
you're a dumbass, you're a dumbass, you're grade A, number one, bona fide, first class.
So thank you, Sparky. Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Yes.
I could have screamed at the pipe, or I could have wrapped it with a wet towel. I chose poorly. But I did get everything back together, and I turned the water on, and water starts trickling very slowly. But it's trickling slowly enough that it's not like it's a stream coming up and it was immediately obvious where it was leaking from. It took me a while of playing with the towel and holding spots and analyzing closely to determine my half-ass soldering connections are actually not leaking. It's the threads that are leaking. And what's at the threads?
Was the rubber gasket in there still?
The rubber gasket's in there, but also I think I did a half-ass Teflon taping job. I did not watch a YouTube video about Teflon tape before doing that part of the job.
I figured you'd be super good at that, considering you used to have to wrap pipes all the time.
Well, thank you. No, it turns out that there's a few important things I did not take into consideration. I do not remember which way I applied the tape, but you want to apply the tape clockwise in the direction of the threads so that you don't loosen the tape when you're screwing things on. Now, I thought the Teflon tape would apply itself and adhere itself, and it really didn't matter which way.
You have to keep rubbing it, right?
But it, obvious thing, got to turn it the right way. So I don't know which way I turned the tape on there. 50-50 chance I got it right. So maybe I got it wrong. But the other thing I did not take into consideration was that you want to put 6 or 7 layers of Teflon tape around when you're wrapping it. Don't be worried about putting too much on there. I was worried about putting too much because most things, it's a bad thing to put too much, and I often overcompensate and put too little, and that's what I did. Now, the Teflon tape manufacturer's instructions say at least 3 layers. Professionals say 6 to 7 layers. So I'm going to
so be super professional. Put like 12.
Well, I don't know about that. Also, you got to get the tape tight. That I was doing. I mean, it was definitely gripping those threads, and it just looked like white threads when I was done. But I think I only put like 2, maybe 3 wraps. But I didn't do. At this point, I was like, I needed to walk away and cool down, and also I wanted to research what I'm doing wrong, why my threads are leaking. So it's still leaking in the basement. But like I said, it's a very slow trickle into a dirt ground that it is absorbing into faster than it can accumulate anything. And it's not a flow. It's like barely a trickle, barely a drip. And the water flow restrictor is working. The water pressure is noticeably less when I turn on my sinks. And not only that, the bidet that sprung a leak has stopped dripping.
Wait, does this mean your shower suck now?
My shower's fine.
Okay.
I already had a water flow restricting head in the shower to limit the PSI there, so it's probably not
take
gonna
that
change
sucker off. You want as much flow as you can on the shower.
Well, it was the hot water wasn't keeping up with the shower head that was.
I was just saying, man, you want those laser beams hitting you, man.
I put the water flow restricted head on there so that the hot water will last longer. So yes, we're calling this a success with some improvement needed. I need to reapply the tape and stop the trickle before it's a full success. But yes, it's a success. I have water and I don't have dripping in the bathroom anymore. Now, I did buy a replacement bidet, and I'm still going to do the bidet replacement because even though restricting the water flow stopped the leak from the bidet, I know that bidet has already been compromised by the high pressure. Yeah, it's going to start leaking again at some point. It's just that now with less pressure pushing on it, the compromised seals are holding. But I didn't expect that. I thought once those seals are busted, that was that. But no, it's holding now. So I could wait for I could return the bidet and wait till it completely breaks.
Too bad they don't make
why would I do that?
Too bad they don't just make like high flow, high pressure bidets or something that can handle that amount.
Well, that amount of pressure is not good for any home appliances.
You can be laser beam down there. It's fine.
I mean, it's bad on the washing machine. It's bad on the furnace. I mean, I had over 100 PSI in this house. So, I still need to get a dining room table. I still need to clean out the dining room. I still need to plan a Christmas dinner, and I still need to get a Halloween costume. But before we talk about that, a bag of dick?
What?
Well, that was an old.
Yeah, I thought you might have had a sound file queued up for that one.
I should have queued that up. I probably have that episode somewhere. All right, so we're going to open this up is what we're going to do here. And we're going to find out just what did Dune send me that he's calling a bag of cock. So, all right, it's an envelope. It's a priority mail envelope. There's a lot of pieces of paper in here. Are these all his notes? He sent me all his notes. Every now and then he jots down a note relating to something, and he keeps it on his desk for a future time.
Wait, are those all his post-it notes over the 15 years or 20 years?
Yes, these are all the post-it notes over the years. These are all the Dune post-it notes. No, this was supposed to be my inheritance.
Oh no, Dune!
He did it. He criticized me for talking about wanting to toss it out, yet he didn't even want to hang on to it. So, anyways, yeah, more post-it notes. Oh, there's a falling all over the place. There's so. Oh my God, that's quite a, and it's cock flavored soup mix.
Oh.
Why did you buy this? We all know why you bought it. this is also why you didn't eat it. Yeah, I'm not making this.
I see.
I do not want to.
Does that actually mean chicken flavored?
Um,
Look at the
well,
ingredient list. I mean, that's a real package, right?
I think we all know it's chicken flavored, but I'm still on principle. I'm not eating this.
Well, hey, it's a
Why-
good thing to show. What's the expiration date on it? Does it say?
I don't know. Let's see how good my cock is good for. I don't see a date on here. Oh, here we go. Best by February 1st of 2019.
Oh no, it's your thing's
It's
expired.
Expired cock.
Dune has sent me
Oh.
expired cock.
Okay, well,
Okay.
you know,
Boy, that's
fine.
bold.
Now, Dune says it's regifted, so someone gifted him this cock.
Regifted.
This is-
Uh-oh.
Now,
This is-
is it still good if you use a blue pill with it? Speechless.
So we got a lot of reading to do here. Omniquad. Okay. Flow Mayhem.
Oh.
Dune, I got laid a little, and that's okay.
Okay. That's
Okay.
fine. That's a good one.
Johnny, he's a nice enough guy. He's just kind of annoying. Like
Why is
me.
this not in like a book or something?
Oh, this is yeah. Let me
It could be
ask.
like Gumpisms, but you know they're
Yeah.
whatever.
The
All right.
Dune man.
All right, let me ask if I were to like tape these into a book
Yeah.
and then have it duplicated and then sell copies of it, do I have any pre-orders right now?
Yeah.
Any pre-orders?
Depends on how good it is.
Well, I mean, you're already hearing some of the samples here.
pretty
Johnny
good.
G 1/21/2018. Yarn is cool.
Yarn is cool.
Johnny 2 2018. What the Dune, are you sure you weren't a doctor in a former life?
Does he like yarn? Should I send him some?
No. He was writing that I wrote that I like yarn because I was doing a
Oh,
little-
did you want some yarn?
I did some crocheting. No, I got. Would you like yarn?
My nephew actually has a shed full of yarn.
Oh, I could give you some yarn to add to it.
Gators, I thought you were knitting everybody Rubik's Cube Kleenex boxes for Christmas.
No, I did it.
Yay!
I did it myself. Rubik's Cube Kleenex, and that was not knitting. That was plastic canvas. That was a needlepoint.
So this was this a kit, needlepoint kit?
No, it's I just bought sheets of plastic. I didn't even buy them. My mom bought sheets of plastic canvas that were just still hanging around the house. I took them and I bought yarn the right colors for Rubik's Cube, and I figured out the size of it, and I did it. You know?
So this is a total DIYer other than the
Yeah.
plastic to write on. Now,
Needlepoint's
is
not that hard.
Size to fit a Kleenex box?
Yeah. It's like the
One
cube.
of the cubic type. Yeah.
Right. Now it's not a snug fit because I couldn't get the proportions of a Rubik's Cube right if I did a snug fit because
No,
you have
that's
to
fine.
have three. So it kind of just but it sits on the table and you can take the tissues out.
But
it's
there's a slot in the top for the tissues. Yeah.
right. And the slot and the hole in the top would be a white piece. So as long as you buy white tissues, you're all set. Because people have made patterns of Rubik's Cube tissue boxes online that the colors do not correlate to what the pieces would really be on a Rubik's Cube.
Does that trigger the OCD Gators when that?
I
when you see
actually
that?
mixed up a Rubik's Cube to get a logical mixed up Rubik's Cube pattern that would make sense on my tissue box. Dune, he's not resist, he's just dog funny voices. I don't know what. Okay, Johnny, I am fella with talent. I am
What
falling with
was
talent.
dude riding
Meg?
while on the moonshine that day?
ADD. It's like smoking crack. Oh, that was a vamp a line. Johnny, give money. No, give money. I think this is a prescription for amoxicillin. It's okay. They are all on drugs. Okay. Forceful active FAP and pulling.
Oh.
I think that's one that he put to hang on his wall when closing hang on the door when closing the door. The Stevens Show. It's Superlint or Superlint. Question: Heart, bat, bell, head. Ed Moda talk. Ed Moda Tav smile. I have tots of wires, and you can wash your ass.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's all the stuff that you. That's a sample of the type of things you could get in a copy of this book.
Wow. that.
Oh, Dune saying one of the lines is he's not racist, he just does funny voices. I think I know what we're referring to there. Let's see. Mrs. Miller on Deadpool. Oh, that's a reminder note.
That must have been hilarious.
That
right there.
Deadpool
that
never
must
knows.
Have been hilarious.
Deadpool never knows what to do with our requests. New app idea. New will add infrared Airtu.
Okay.
Send that fail. The Hawk, no weed barred.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. I could read that one. 2008 Vizio. Oh God.
Oh, that's a TV.
No, that's a software.
Oh.
Microsoft Vizio.
Oh yeah, I had that.
I Stuff and Things at Warhawk.
Okay.
Okay. 3 Gummy Johnny. Smiley
Yeah,
face.
I've heard that one a couple times. I've heard that one a couple times. 3 Gummy Johnny.
3 Gummy Johnny. I did one time join the show on 3 Gummies, and I was feeling pretty something.
I remember.
Sparky asking, are those printed or in cursive? Yes.
Yes.
They are printed or in cursive. I think a lot of them are printed, but some of them are chicken scratched. Thug Shells. Weird Johnson. DJ Weird Johnson.
Okay.
Maybe it's supposed to be Johnson without an N. Twitch videos. We do this for science.
Mm-hmm.
And this one just says dude with 2 exclamation points.
Yeah, that's probably the most logical one. Honestly.
That one makes sense. That one I get. So we get.
Now are
dude.
the backs still? Do the backs still have some stickiness to them, or is it all wiped off?
The sticky's pretty much worn off. I mean, it's we might have to get venison to help with that. But
I don't. Okay.
We all know how
The
venison
wall?
got the
Sit there
posters to stick to his wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's actually Toon says ew. Okay, okay. You had to know what we were talking about in order to say ew.
Now the thing is, venison probably did not have a pressure valve. Just saying.
No, well, he had an internal pressure valve. He had the type that added pressure.
I'm sure there was leaking involved too. We don't want to know though.
Venison was proud at how high up the wall he was able to hit.
You know, I don't want to know. Bleh.
None of us did, but he was proud of it, and so we all did get to know.
The question is, when he moved into his apartment, did he start a new wall?
I don't think that was a regular recurring practice. I think that was a measurement he took in his teenage years, and then I gotta tell you,
Okay.
I'm just impressed someone would hit the wall. I mean,
Or the ceiling, yeah.
You know, I mean, to me, it's impressive if you get past your chest. I mean, it's maybe everyone's different. I never compared notes with anyone.
I've never measured the distance, so.
Me neither. You just kind of eyeball it and then clean up, and that's that.
Clean up. Ugh.
Get a shower. Dune writes in, keep in mind, I'm dyslexic, spell bad, and my hand was broken, so I don't write well. And I'm sorry if I'm coming off critical. It is, I mean, I am not one to criticize handwriting. I got my own brand of chicken scratch that only I could read, and every now and then I find something that past Gators wrote that I'm like, dude, what the fuck were you on when you wrote this? I can't. But
should have been a doctor, right?
Yeah, that's what my mom said. But anyways, so speaking of bad communication, I had an interesting thing unfold, and I don't know if I've talked about this on the air or not, but you all familiar with the website Discogs?
I am.
Yeah. Well, I buy stuff through Discogs. And so I found out that there was this album that I was not familiar with, a group called Deaf School and an album called Second Honeymoon. And it was released in quad only in Europe. And I took a little listen to the music on the album, and it sounds kind of like other things that I like. It really was pretty. And I'm like, oh, my God, I got to track down and buy a quad copy of this. Now, generally, most copies of it are in Europe, and England is probably the easiest to get out of. Mm-hmm. So Discogs has sellers all around the world, so that's an easy way to start buying from international sellers. The thing is that international shipping is not cheap. So generally, and this is true about all orders on Discogs, is that if you're going to order on Discogs, generally you find the one item you want, and then you start looking at all the other things they're selling, and you find other things that you'd like to get, so that the price per item kind of makes better sense with the shipping. Combined shipping helps, make it a little less painful than to pay all that shipping for one record. So I looked through the guy's collection. He had 2 other records I was interested in that were priced reasonably. So 3 items made for a better shipping. Well, actually, it wasn't that great. It actually the shipping was a little bit less than the cost of the 3 items were. All in all, I paid something like $70 for 3 records. All 3 of them.
$30 shipping?
Yeah, it was like 30, $35 for or
shipping rates suck. International.
Yeah, it sucked. But I mean, the 3 albums were the Deaf School album. A double LP Mike Oldfield Exposed, which is a Mike Oldfield live album, which was also done in quad, SQ quad. Perfect for this time of the year because it's got a live rendition of Tubular Bells on it. And then this Rock and Drums Japanese quad album that was.
Wait, they only sold that one in Europe?
Well, no, that one was in this guy's collection. It was from Japan.
Okay.
It was
so you had 4 records in there then?
No, 3. Well, 4.
Yeah,
3
because it was a double album.
3 albums, 4 records. You're right. You're right. So I I'm going to pull up. So I placed the order August 25th.
Did you forget about? You forgot about the order, didn't you?
No, I didn't forget about the order.
Oh.
It's just that the story drags on for a while.
Okay.
So August 25th, I placed the order. August 30th, the dude writes back, "Thank you for your order, which is being prepared for shipment. Kind regards." And then he sent another message a half hour later saying, "Thanks for your order, Jonathan, which is being prepared for shipment."
Mhm.
And then he sent another message right away. "Thanks for your order, Jonathan, which is being prepared for shipment." September.
Because
So
it was two things, probably. Yeah.
So that was, well, it was all one order.
Yeah.
I think the dude's a little technically challenged. So that was August 30th. And then I hear nothing and I get no tracking number or no information, just that it was being prepared for shipment. So 2 weeks later, September 13th, I gave this dude 2 weeks of no tracking information and no update on the order that it has shipped, because on Discogs, you set the status to let them know it's shipped.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I sent him a message on September 13th. "Has this shipped?" No answer. So
He's
3
probably
days
like,
later.
he probably sees it as, oh crap, I forgot.
3 days later. Now, mind you, this dude sells a lot of items. He's got a lot of feedback on his profile. Sells a lot of things. There's some people that are individuals. There's some people that are stores. There's some people that are kind of like DIY stores. There's a wide range of sellers on Discogs. Okay. But this dude was someone that's been there for a while and selling a lot of things. So 3 days later, no reply. "Please update me about this order ASAP." September 21st. So this is another week has gone by. He writes back in all caps, "Apologies, it's being shipped tomorrow. I've just come out of hospital today. So sorry for delay."
Oh.
Then 2 days later, he writes back, not in all caps, "I'm so sorry. I was in hospital. I was admitted on Monday with severe chest pains and was kept in for monitoring and tests. I could not access my internet. I am in shop doing orders today in advance of having cardiac tests on Tuesday." Now that was
get his stuff because the guy had a heart attack.
Well, here's
Damn.
the thing. Well, here's the thing. I think the person, you know what? On September 21st, the reason why this person replied was because between September 16th and September 21st, I filed a no response report with the Discogs site, which is the only thing you can do with Discogs. The only threat of closing someone's account is if someone reports you for not replying and you don't reply within like 2 or 3 days of that complaint, they will close your account. But as long as you reply and you communicate, they don't do anything. In fact, at the end of this, when I pointed out the problems, they said, "Well, you should work with PayPal to get your money back." So they have a very loose policy. They're kind of like eBay back in the Wild West days, except that there's a PayPal in the middle that actually gives you recourse. So I guess they don't have to. Anyways, that's getting ahead of this. So that's why he wrote those messages on the 21st and 23rd. Mind you, at this point, I started looking back at the guy's feedback, and he has a lot of positive feedback, but he also has some negative feedback. The dude has been talking about being in the hospital and being unable to ship things as his excuse since June.
Oh.
In June, people have been complaining about orders not being shipped, and he goes, "I'm sorry, I was in the hospital with a stroke." So, this dude
always has some health problems.
So either this dude has some serious heart problems, which is very plausible and could be what's going on, and he's in and out of the hospital, or this is his go-to excuse that he's been using for a long time. Either way, if since June you've been in and out of the hospital, have been unable to keep up with your orders, by August you should have made the decision, I can't keep taking people's money when I can't fulfill my obligations to them. So there's
another option.
What's that?
Total another option.
What?
Get
He's
someone
got
else
all
to
that
help.
stuff out there to collect money because he doesn't have health insurance.
He's in England.
He's in England, universal health care, sir.
Oh.
I mean, that was my thought at first. And then I was like, wait a minute. I'm thinking about this like an American.
Yeah.
Right.
not to say that he doesn't have need for income, not to say that that's not part of the motivation here, but the point is that he's been having issues with orders since at least June. I placed this order in August. This is September. Clearly, at some point, this guy, if he's going to be responsible, needs to recognize that he is not fulfilling his obligation and needs to stop taking orders. But it's not my job to tell him that. It's my job just to deal with this one transaction. So that was September 23rd that he sent the apologies, which fulfilled his obligations to Discogs to actually respond, and that caused him to not get his account closed. October 1st, I've heard nothing between the 23rd and October 1st. So that's another more than a week that has gone by since he said, I'm so sorry I was in the hospital. Because with the whole hospital thing, I gave him another week. Mind you, this order was taken August. We have now
So did you post that this guy's not unresponsive again?
Well, that...
Or this story continues?
The story continues.
Okay.
So on October 1st, more than a week after his last correspondence, more than a month after this order was placed, I wrote, send a tracking number or a full refund within 24 hours or I file a fraud claim. You've had more than enough time to ship this. October 2nd. Hi, Jonathan. Apologies. I'll sort this out ASAP. I had been in hospital. I had a stroke. So I'm sorry about the length of time it's taken.
Not a cardiac issue, but he had a stroke.
October 3rd, he set the order status to shipped, and he set the tracking number to TBA. And then he wrote in, I'll have the tracking number upon my return from the post office. October 4th, he sends me a tracking number.
Okay.
Yay.
October 10th, I receive the order. It includes the 2 extra albums that I added on to the order to combine the shipping. It didn't include the Deaf School album, the whole reason I placed the order.
Oh no!
Fudge.
Did you send him a message? Yo, you forgot one.
So October 10th, I sent him a message. Please provide a tracking number for the Deaf School album within 24 hours. Otherwise, I will have to insist on a full refund plus return shipping. I will not accept a partial order. October 11th, no response. I file a claim with PayPal. They refund me fully.
All right.
October 23rd, today he realizes that he's out the money and I have the records. This is how long it took him.
He's probably pissed. He's like, oh, hey, what?
Yeah, because
tell him. So now you can play the other game. He asked for his money. The record back or the money. You kind of go, I've had a stroke. I'm in the hospital.
I could do that, but I'm not. So he sent me multiple messages today. First he wrote, can you kindly confirm receipt of goods? Which it's like, dude, did you not read my message about the missing record? Then 5 minutes later, he writes, Jonathan, I have checked and you received goods on 10th October and didn't even inform me. I would like to receive funds of $69.44, please. You reported non-receipt of goods. I supplied in good faith the tracking number. The trouble with PayPal disputes supplying evidence of postage amongst my fellow sellers on Discogs is that they don't take into account delays in postage, which have gotten worse with Royal Mail and Brexit. Yeah, Royal Mail and Brexit. Sir, I replaced this order August 25th. Not to mention, I sent you a message and told you why I was filing a claim. Please, can you pay me $69.44 into my PayPal account? Gives me the email address. Thank you. I've also emailed the proof of arrival to you and receipt. And sure enough, he sent me a proof of basically the tracking information of the partial order. He said. Then 6 minutes later, he actually catches up to my messages and reads it. And he says, I've just realized you did not receive Deaf School, and I apologize for that. Do you not want the other 2 records? So I wrote back to him 5 minutes after that. I did inform you on October 10th with the notification that the Deaf School album wasn't included. You seem to only just now realize that. I suspect you have far too much going on to be able to adequately run this account. While I sympathize with your situation, I have no interest in doing any further business with you. PayPal refunded me, and I intend to keep that refund. If you would like the records I did receive returned, I would be happy to ship them back if you provide a method of return and pay the return shipping. So now we wait another 2 weeks for him to get that message, read it, and respond. So, but I really don't care because I have the money. It's all on him if he ever wants to see the return of these records.
See, you
don't want those records?
I do want them, but not that bad. These records I could get elsewhere. The Deaf School was the only one that was tricky to find. It was tricky to find another copy, and I ended up paying more for the other copy than I did from.
Let me ask you this question: does he have the Deaf School?
I don't care. He might have it, but he doesn't have the capability of getting it to a post office and to my front porch.
You're way better than me. I order something, and after a month, I forget about it. So, like, it'll be, I ordered something, and like 4 months later, something showed up at my door. I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, oh, I bought this way back in like last December. I forgot about this. You follow things up. I don't. I forget.
Now, going back over, you know what? Actually,
so you need to have Marge. You need to have a basket of your incoming orders. When you receive it, you pull it out of that thing.
I will say, every now and then I do get a surprise order that I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I did forget. I do sometimes forget some of my orders because I order a lot. Pre-orders are easy to forget because if it's a pre-order and it's months out, you're not anticipating it as much because it's like, oh, that's out. Like, in fact, I almost forgot that back in summer, I pre-ordered the new deluxe set of King Crimson, Lark's Tongue and Aspic, which comes with a brand new Atmos remix of the album. And it's actually just shipped, and I have that tracking information up on my screen. But like about a week ago when I saw that the release date was coming, I was like, oh, did I order? Let me check my email. Yes, I did order that. So I'm not always on top of all my pre-orders.
Oh, yeah, you did that with Santa Dog last year, didn't you?
I ended up buying 2 copies of Santa Dog last year.
I'm sorry. That's 2 more than I would have bought, but
I gave 1 to Gothard. It was all good. Sparky saying, imagine that. So his hospital stay sounds bogus. The thing is that clearly, I mean, here's the thing. The guy does have positive feedback and negative feedback on his site. So I believe that he has good intentions. I just think he's in over his head. And bad heart conditions could very well be the type of thing that could cause someone with good intentions to not keep up with their obligations.
Actually, I'm curious, how many things does he have out there for sale right now, or when you last looked?
Well, that's a good question. Hundreds. He's got an online store. I'll just pull it up right now. Because that's the difficult thing when you want to start combining shipping on things. It's a lot of stuff to browse through, and it's not like a record store where you can go to certain alphabetized or genres or things like that. It's just not easy to sort things out. He has right now 4,961 items for sale.
Jesus.
Dude is running a store. This is not a dude with some records in his basement. This dude is running a full-fledged record store.
Mm-hmm. And if he takes that long, and honestly, I don't know.
So when my sister-in-law passed away, she had a lot of yarn, and the family was talking about selling it on eBay. And I kind of go, I certainly wouldn't want to do that. I don't know what the prices are and stuff like that. You know, some of this stuff is probably very, shall we say, rare and valuable.
Well,
it's not just something you can get from Walmart.
Well, I mean, you got a few options. You can sell it on eBay and give someone a deal, or do nothing. I mean, it's
Well, you'd have to do it individually to get your money's worth out of it. But that's a huge amount of effort.
well, I mean, selling it as a lot at a bargain price is better than tossing it.
It's
If
a
you to-
complicated issue.
If you toss it, no one enjoys it. If you sell it and it's not getting ripped off, it's passing it forward. It's paying it forward. It's putting karma in the world.
Yeah, I would rather
Unless you
give
want to
it
research
to a
it.
store that sells it.
Oh, that's a good option too. Okay,
But
all right,
again-
I'm on
again,
board with
but
that.
then the bottom line
So-
is it's not my decision. So
Well,
I ain't volunteering.
who's the executor or responsible for all
It's
this
my
stuff?
nephew.
Okay, so
her
your
son.
nephew's got to decide what to do with this yarn.
Yeah.
Can you just put it all together, make one super giant yarn ball, and like make a museum out of it? The biggest ball of yarn
the
in
huge ball
California.
of string.
Yeah, the biggest ball of yarn in California. Kind of like the biggest ball of twine in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So Dune wrote that the whole transaction sounded like a Nigerian scam show, or that this sounds like a Nigerian scam show. I guess me doing the story. Sparky said, "Well done, Johnny." Sparky keeps track of things in the purchased items file that he throws his online orders into. Now Dune asked if I searched for a record store in his town. I don't know. I mean, it says that he's in the Channel Islands. So that could also add a complication if he's kind of secluded. I don't know much about the Channel Islands. Other than that, I guess. Oh, you know what? I think I already tossed the box these records came in, which I shouldn't have. Because if I was
Well, if
thinking
you're gonna
about,
send them back, you might want to. I guess you could.
I
should've
got
kept box.
mailers. I got mailers, but I'll have to get a return address from him. Like I said, he needs to arrange the return shipping and pay
It
for
will probably be in his PayPal though, right? If you look at his PayPal, it probably has his address in it, right?
That's true. You know what? My guess is at this point, it's probably not worth it to him to pay for the return shipping, since the
No.
return shipping.
Well-
The only reason he would pay for the return shipping would be out of principle. And at this point, I think he recognizes that he fucked this up enough that he doesn't need to be angry about the principle of the matter. I try to work with him, so I mean, I'll if he arranges a return method, I'll send them to him. But I think there's a like 80 to 90% chance that he's just going to write it off, and these are my records. But they're staying off to the side for at least another month or so to be ready for whatever he decides. So,
Yeah.
because like I said, I mean, it's going to be like another 30 pounds to return these 30-pound worth of records. It's not worth it to him to return
It might be.
it.
He's probably gonna keep messaging you in the next 3 months.
I mean, the thing is, I could just go possession is 9/10 of the law. Fuck you. But I do believe that he has a right to claim them back.
Yeah.
I just don't think I have any obligation to put any money into that. Anyways, I was going to take a look and see if I can find this record, if it is a record store, through PayPal, but I got to put my PayPal code in.
Is there a name of the place?
There isn't. Well, there's a name, but I don't know what Channel Island he's on, so I don't even know where or what town it's in to even look. It's called Vinyl Vaughn. Vaughn might be a family name, so I don't know if that's just the name of his account or if that's actually the name of a store. But let's see if I can find this. Yeah, of course, I'm now like reading a website looking into transaction histories for the show. I should have done my homework and had this ready.
Yeah, it's okay.
This is a good question, though.
Yeah.
Let's see.
No,
Here we go.
he's
Activity.
on Google Maps.
Is he?
As Vinyl Vaughn record store.
Okay, I should have just searched Vinyl Vaughn.
Right, and this is a place called Guernsey.
Is that New Jersey?
No, Guernsey.
Oh.
There is actually a place called where the hell was it? Fuck. A place called German occupation. This is actually off the coast of France.
Oh.
A place called German Occupation Museum.
All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? There we go. Vinyl Vaughn, and that is an island off. Yeah. You know what? The Channel Islands are off of France, but I think they're technically British territories. Like the island of Jersey is, which I believe the island of Jersey has like some kind of a no tax policy. So that's a benefit of living there if you got some money. I believe that no, actually, I don't believe I know. Island of Jersey is where Gilbert O'Sullivan lives. But no, this is on another little island.
This is a sovereign state of the United Kingdom.
So all right, so it's not part of England; it's part of the United Kingdom.
Well,
got it. So because England is part of the United Kingdom, you know, the United Kingdom is made up of different countries, of which England is one of them. So let's so yeah, we found this. You found it, and I got up here too. It's on
we found a new place. You know, when you think of the UK, oh well, that's Scotland, that's England, that's Wales, that's Northern Ireland. Hey, there's one more.
So we've now found a record.
Unbelievable. Look at what we're learning.
We've now found a record store that I will never visit because dead to me. They are dead to me. So there it is, Vinyl Vaughn.
Maybe this is a nice place to visit.
Yeah, I'm sure if I get out there to that island, I will be sure to. So, anyways, there you go. This is England, and we come from France down there, and we zoom into this little island. And there it is, Vinyl Vaughn, in that little rectangle there. Let's take a look at a street view of it. I'm just kind of curious. Let's take
You want to see what car he drives, don't you?
Well, it's a cobblestone road, and wait, where is it? Is it this? No, I'm looking at the wrong side. No, it's this blue building, I think, is what it is, which doesn't look to have a storefront. Because there's, what is this? Bell and Co. Limited, Parish Group, the Butcher. So I don't actually see a storefront here. I don't. Well, no, actually, this Parish Group building does have some records in the window, so it could be part of this. Oh, here we go. I think this sign might have. I can't read what. Oh, there, Yvonne. There we go. So yeah, no, this is the store. There
you go. You found it.
I found it. So dude is running a store
next to a butcher shop
on a cobblestone road in an island off the coast of France. That's a part of the United Kingdom.
So question, would you rather go to there or work on your pipes?
Well, I the amount of time I need to sit in a comfortable seat in a plane to get there, I think I'll work.
I'd say money was
actually
an object.
the stonework is just the sidewalk.
Yeah.
The street looks like it's asphalt.
Oh, well.
No, that's cobblestones right there.
I know, but that's just the sidewalk.
No, this is the sidewalk. This is the road. Look at that. That's a texture on the road there. That is not. That is cobblestone.
No, I did. Well, my view on my phone is. Let me see if you can see it.
Here it is in light. Take a look what I'm showing on the screen right here. And this is as of May 2022.
Damn. Are we looking at the same thing? Look, turn over to the store.
It's yeah. Here's the store.
Weird.
So, anyways, you know what I'm curious about?
See, my store, actually, in the doorway, there's some clothes hanging on a rack.
Yeah, they probably got a different date or different time, you know. So, anyways, I'm curious to read the Google Maps reviews of this store to see if there's any problems with the store itself in person that people are having. So let's take a look.
Oh.
Oh, what'd you find? Oh,
I ordered and paid for an album which I did not arrive. I initially thought it was because this is 11 months ago.
11 months ago. So nearly a year ago, people were having problems.
I buy a lot of albums. I've been trying to get a refund from Vaughn since September 5th.
To no avail.
To no avail.
Wow.
Discussions with Vaughn were positive, but with no outcome. So, Vaughn, you can keep the money, and my advice to you is to use parcel tracking in the future. To others, we'll never deal with Vinyl Vaughn again. So, was this something that was just lost in shipping, and they got into a little bit of a disagreement as to how that should be handled? That's a little different from what I dealt with. I mean, still, it says something that he didn't handle the situation appropriately. But that, I don't know. 4 years ago, 1 star, rude staff. Mind you, I've scrolled through a lot of 5-star reviews. Bundles of music, great shop, great buzzing place, lots of music and life, great experience, very friendly, experienced staff, great record store, a very dangerous shop, too many nice things.
Yeah, I know that.
The best collection of vinyl on the island, Very friendly owner. Had a really good conversation with him. So he might be. So, it sounds like I said, my take on it is this dude is a well-intentioned guy who is running a record store and is falling on difficult times. And really, he needs to.
So what you should do is post a review and then probably do a clip of the discussion of Vinyl Vaughn and have it available on his Google Maps review.
I'm leaving this dude alone.
Yeah.
I
Let it work itself out.
I put feedback on the Discogs store about my experience to go along with the other negative experiences on there, which sits alongside a lot of positive experiences that people have posted about. I have done my part. It is not on me to do more than that. I like I said, giving this guy the benefit of the doubt, I believe he is well-intentioned, but I also believe that he is making some poor choices, and that is why it is good to have credit cards and PayPal to be able to intervene when it comes to online transactions like this. Sparky says you put feedback on Yelp. You know what? I think this is a Discogs problem only. I don't think the problem lies in I don't think there's any reason to start shit talking his store. If he is, because basically either the store's got wonky hours and he's not taking customers at times, or when the store's open, he's doing the transactions in person. People walk away with product. I see no reason to shit on that.
Yeah.
What I see a need to do is to pressure this dude to close the Discogs store, and pressure is a strong word, because really my going any beyond a bad review is putting way too much focus on this.
Plus, you've got his money anyway.
But yeah, I got my money back. I warned people through the problem path of Discogs that, hey, this dude can't keep up with his orders. Stay away. There's no need to kill this guy's store over it.
And so how much money? How much of his money do you have?
Like $70.
$70. And that if that puts him under, well, so be it.
That's not going to put him under. Dune writes in, man, a few years ago you could have tossed Findir a few bucks to pay him with it. I don't think it's quite down the road from Findir. I think it's what Findir's in Scotland, which is north. This island is south of England.
Closer to France.
Yes, Findir could get there easier than I could. But I don't think he was going to do that.
It's funny, when you see stuff on World War II, you never see that they were occupied by the Germans.
Huh. Yeah, interesting. So, anyways, yeah, so that's that drama. So which brings us to the last topic of the show. my cousins have invited me, and I've accepted the invite, and I'm looking forward to it, to a Halloween party this coming
Oh,
weekend.
yay!
So, and
Where's that going to be?
it's going to be in Jersey. I'm gonna
Nice.
fly out to the Channel Islands and hang out with Gilbert O'Sullivan. No, New Jersey.
Are there going to be balloons involved?
No, but there's going to be costumes involved.
Oh.
So, what should I be for Halloween?
A giant vinyl record?
That's an idea.
Yeah.
Giant quad right there.
Giant vinyl. Should I be like a record cover with the record hanging out, or just a black? I mean, is there a record cover?
Or B, a full surround system.
I don't
That's
know.
going to be harder to do, but...
Be
let me-
hanging off speakers on you.
Let me see if there is a record Halloween. Okay.
I saw
no.
this really funny picture of the costume. The guy's going to be a raccoon, but the costume included the trash can with the head of the raccoon sticking out.
Nice! I like that. It's the Oscar the Grouch thing.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's like Oscar the Grouch.
So there's this.
Exactly.
There's a record player.
That's cool.
That's
Absolutely.
yeah. That looks
Rasta
comfortable.
Impasta.
I don't know that it's in stock though. Oh, let's see all buying options. Free delivery October 26th to 31st. Well, I need it by the.
I take it that's not an Amazon Prime item.
Yeah, that's not a Prime item. So
Oh,
I can't guarantee that costume would get here in time. So now I did have a few items. I did find this eyeball mask. I don't know what she was.
No!
And a top hat and a tuxedo T-shirt. So for $80, I could put together a residence Halloween costume.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm considering. But that's
That
a,
is
Is that
very scary.
that's a bit of money to spend for a Halloween costume, though.
Not really. Not today.
$80,
Huh?
$80 for a
Well,
Halloween
if you go to one of
costume.
these Halloween stores, you're gonna spend a lot more than that.
Well, yeah, but you know it'd be a lot cheaper. A $16 Error 404 costume not found T-shirt.
Are you just going to do a t-shirt?
And there's lots of options for that, as you can see.
But what do you do for a mask? That's the trouble.
Well, costume's not found, so there's no mask. You just wear the shirt.
Well, that's lame. Hey, you spent $12 on a T-shirt. Big fucking deal.
Well, it's cheaper than $80 for an eyeball mask and top.
Yeah,
hat.
but you could use that again.
When?
The next costume party. Wear it for the show once a year.
I don't know if I show up to if I show up to the same Halloween party every year with the same costume, they're going to start picking on me for that. All right, let's see. Maybe a Bob Ross costume. Do I have Bob Ross costume? That's basically all I need.
Oh
is a
yeah.
I mean, I
like
got
this.
the
I like
paintbrush.
this.
I got the
Well,
palette.
how much is that? Just the fro, the first
Well,
one.
I mean, basically, he just wears a blue button-down shirt and blue jeans with a belt. So I could buy those easy enough without buying.
Yeah, but the fro. You need the fro.
I
Right?
need the fro. Yeah.
They sell those. They actually sell Bob Ross fros. I've seen those.
So yeah, I could.
And how much is the Bob Ross fro?
I don't know. They're foam. I have no idea.
Well, let's see.
Well, I mean, Johnny's looking at it. He's not stopping on him.
$20.
There you go. That's the winner.
Yeah. You could. There's different ones, and some of them look better than others, and most of them come with a beard and mustache too. But I think I'll just
There's
stick
enough
with my
of
own.
you could probably click on Prime only, so you know you'll get it sooner.
Yeah. So there we go. California costumes. California costume men's joyful painter kit. 80s painter costume
They
set.
didn't even want to use the name Bob Ross because they don't want to pay royalties.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. We
Happy
all know
painter.
you-
Fuck that.
Happy painter.
That's fucking lame, man.
There we. All right. Let's see.
Or you can even get the shall we say, the paint kit.
It actually comes with the blue shirt. I don't think it comes with jeans though. I think you got to
Sweet.
provide your own jeans. So I'd have to go out to Walmart and buy a pair of jeans. But blue button-down shirt, which really, if I could just buy the fro wig, by its, well, I guess is it called a fro wig or a perm
Do you
wig?
need the painting? Was that called a palette, right?
I have
He
that.
has those.
You have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you are first class.
Fluffy
Why
Afro
are they-
synthetic clown wig. There we go. That would work.
Oh, that one's not bad. Yeah.
So there we go. $10, and I just go buy a blue
that with
shirt
the
and a pair of
glasses?
jeans.
Does that come with the glasses?
I don't think it comes with the glasses.
Do you got glasses that would work?
He
Sunglasses
does-
like that?
I don't. He doesn't wear glasses.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Oh, I could get it in blue or rainbow or green. I don't know. That one's a little. I don't. You know what? Maybe I should just search Bob.
Was
Ross
that a
wig.
Howard Stern? A couple down?
Probably. I'm going to search Bob Ross wig. Let's see what comes up here. It's starting to come up with all the costumes now. All right, this one's not so bad. Although that one doesn't have Prime delivery.
Joe Dirt.
Click on the button.
70s funky Afro wig. No, that's not the right color. Some of these are too big. These are none of them look quite like right. You know, they look a little off. But maybe then again, that's what Halloween costumes are. But yeah, no. If I find a decent perm wig, basically is what it would be. And throw that on with the so those are my options. My options are my $80 DIY residence costume,
Okay.
my or a $10 to $15 fro wig to go as Bob Ross, or a $15 404 costume not found T-shirt. Although it looks like Sparky has sent a link, so let's take a look at Sparky's link. Oh, pimp costume.
Let's see.
Let's. we're gonna bring there we go. There's.
Oh, wow.
And that's cheaper than the residence costume. And it comes in red or purple.
Well, there you go.
Nice.
All right, to buy, select size. Where is oh, here we go, size. Okay, so we might want at least a large. All right, $30 Prime 2 days.
Nice.
So yeah, I could totally get a pimp costume. I don't
And
know if
every
I
once in a
really-
while, you could use it on this show.
I don't know if I really want to be a pimp, you know? Is it good to joke about sex work? I mean,
Actually, a friend of mine last weekend went to a Halloween costume, and his wife, let's say, was looking pretty hot, and
Okay.
he
Dressed as a hoe?
he was a white in a white outfit,
oh, okay.
white tie, very sharp.
Oh, so that he
White
was
tie,
a
white suit,
so he was
funky hat.
so he went as the 70s.
Totally, yeah. I mean, what the hell? The guy.
Nothing
was
wrong
in a
with
high
that.
school class,
That's not quite
so-
the same thing as a pimp, though. That's just being
Well, I
a
mean, I
70s
said,
guy.
well, and people were asking, "What are you? Are you a pimp?" And he says, "Yep." Oh, okay.
I guess that works. I guess so. That's another one to add. Well, I gotta order something soon because I gotta get an order in and get some stuff
Yeah.
showing up here. So I don't know. I like the idea of residence. I don't like the idea of spending $80. But I like the idea. But also, I think that eyeball mask probably won't hold the top hat all that well because it's kind of puffy. So I might have to glue the hat to the mask. Because that is the Residence eyeball masks had the top hats. I think. Actually, I don't know if they took them off it. I think they had them attached in a way, but they also at times had them. I don't know.
Velcroed?
Maybe they were Velcroed. I'm not sure how that worked. I never saw them live in the costume and those
Some
costumes.
white Velcro on it. You just yank off the hat.
By the time I got to see the Residents live, they were doing different costumes. They were doing the Randy, Chuck, and Bob lineup. So different masks on. But so I've only seen pictures of the eyeball masks, which have ended up in fridges. But
Well, you mean they sold the eyeball mask and put it in the fridge?
Well, I think they only sold 2 of the fridges, and one of them was donated. One of them was to a art museum, and the other one was to a super fan who ended up getting divorced as a result of it and never finished paying for it.
Wait, we mean why would someone divorce someone over a fridge?
Oh, I mean, do you know how much that fridge cost?
It was $1,000, right?
It was. You know what? That's a good question.
I thought it was $1,000.
It's something like that. It was a ridiculous price. Although I guess $1,000 is, a small sum to get divorced
do like $200 payments or something.
Let's see. First announced in December of 2012 in a YouTube infomercial starring the group's lead singer Randy Rose, the box set was aimed at the high art market and priced at $100,000.
$100,000? I thought it was 1,000.
It was a huge fridge with a original copy of every Residence release. Some of those are very collectible albums. To date, only 2 Ultimate box sets are known to have been produced. One which was donated to the Museum of Modern Art in New York, and another for a wealthy fan in Indiana who ultimately paid less than 25% of the $100,000, which still is tens of thousands. When asked in December 2020 if the Ultimate box set would still be available for anyone who was able to pay for it, Homer Flynn of the Crypto Corporation said, "Let's talk." So they still have the things to make, because the premise was for $100,000 we'll give you a fridge that, because they've kept stock of everything they made in their archives, so they kind of have these like items lying around that they could put together, but it's collectible stuff, and putting it all together in a package is quite a thing.
You could put another mortgage on your house and get one maybe.
No, I don't think I will do that. I have.
What if you mortgage somebody else's house?
That would be fraud of some sort.
Only if they know about it.
So let's see. As one might imagine, the $100,000 price tag severely limited sales of the Ultimate box set. Many fans assumed it was a joke or an artistic comment on consumerism. The Crypto Corporation insisted that the Ultimate box set was intended as a legitimate product aimed towards a high art market. It was to be limited to only 10 copies, with the sets themselves only being created after orders were received for them. To date, only 2 sets have been produced. One was donated to the Museum of Modern Art in New York City, which included the original Mr. Brown eyeball mask, and the other was purchased by a fan in Indiana known as Trip Monster, whose wife was somehow related to the Eli Lilly pharmaceutical fortune, played in drums and marching band, and who made a $10,000 deposit towards the set. Trip Monster's Ultimate box set included the Mr. Green mask. Homer Flynn of the Cryptic Corporation and Don Hardy, director of the documentary film The Theory of Obscurity, a film about the Residents, traveled to Indiana to personally deliver the set, filming the proceedings for a 10-minute short film to accompany the documentary. A very nice piece, according to Flynn, which remains unreleased and in the possession of Don Hardy. Trip Monster had his marching band perform for the short film, which also featured his wife and children. Flynn later said he considered both Trip Monster and his wife to be very interesting people, and shooting the short film allowed Flynn and Hardy to gain a great deal of insight into the family's lives. Trip Monster's marriage ultimately came to an end, and he claimed that the Residents and the Ultimate box set were instrumental in the split.
Oh
Flynn-
no.
Flynn said that after this, the fan became very strange, stopped making payments, and became very abusive towards Flynn in a series of text messages, after which contact ceased between Trip Monster and the Cryptic Corporation.
That's because him and his wife got divorced and he didn't have any money anymore.
Right. Well, it sounds like the wife was the one that had the money.
Yeah.
The wife put up $10,000 deposit. The wife had to keep making payments, and I guess maybe that now it doesn't say the dude was a bum. It just says that this was a very interesting family
Yeah,
dynamic.
She probably got the fridge and the split up. And the
So I don't
breakup.
know what. Well, I don't think she wanted. Who knows? We can only speculate. All we know is that large quantities of money were involved, being that less than a quarter was made of payments, with at least $10,000 to start with and some payments made afterwards. And the dude said that this fridge was instrumental in their split, which ultimately means money was instrumental in their split. And part of that was the payments to pay down a $100,000 fridge of residence memorabilia. As of December 2020, Flynn had not heard from him in around 4 or 5 years. Flynn said at a reading of The Brick Eaters in August 2018 that Trip Monster had paid less than 25% of the total $100,000 value of the Ultimate box set. The Ultimate box set contains over 100 first editions of virtually all of the Residents albums, singles, DVDs, box sets, books, and CD-ROMs released up to 2012, as well as a real eyeball mask with the option of a skull on a first-come, first-served basis, and additional merchandise, all housed
By
in
the
a
way,
28
who
cubic
is this guy
foot.
that's the seller?
The Residents.
The residents.
Oh, it's them themselves. Okay.
Them themselves, yeah.
Yeah.
They kept a few original copies of all their albums. Although I do remember reading some details that original copies of what pressing is. Basically, they'll make up the fridge as they're ordered, and there's limited quantities of certain things, so you might have to basically it's a custom order type of thing. There's some communication that happens when you order the fridge. Essentially, you get a first pressing of everything, but there might be a conversation about, well, we have a second pressing of this, or well, we have an open copy of that. And then also there's which mask do you want included with it, because they have 8 masks. Actually, no, they have 9 masks, because originally there were 4 eyeball masks made, and one of the eyeball masks was stolen. And after that mask was stolen, the 4th one wore a skull mask that they had lying around. At some point, they did get the stolen eyeball mask back, but by then the Mr. Skull character had kind of caught on, so they stopped using it. And then at some point, a new set of 3 new eyeball masks and a new Mr. Skull mask were made. So that means that there is 7 eyeball masks and 2 skull masks. And it sounds like 2 of the original eyeball masks have already been given out with the 2 fridges.
I assume that these masks were actually the masks that they were selling or actually in a concert.
Oh yeah, I mean they like I said, they only ever made these 9 masks, so they were the masks
still touring
used.
though, right?
Yeah, but they haven't used the eyeball masks in decades.
Oh, so they come as shall we say humans?
No, they come in different disguises, different uniforms, different. Actually, there's let's see if I can find some more recent pictures of some of their. They always appear in disguise or costume, but they don't like to. I mean, the eyeballs became kind of an iconic image, but they weren't exactly aiming to do that. The eyeball masks were really made for the cover of the Eskimo album. It's just that look caught on, so it stuck around for a little while.
Well, you put out an album and then you tour with those songs,
right?
So that's the album tour, right?
Let's see if I can pull up.
Mask.
So yeah, if I do a Google image search for the Residents and I share my screen, you'll see various different costumes they have worn over the years. So over here is what they've been looking like more recently with these face masks and colorful suits. Of course, over here we got the iconic tuxedo and eyeball masks. Here's a more. This is the newer masks with the skull. This is the original masks. Here they are with their faces blurred out with the masks taken off. But yeah, this is this is another look that was more recent with these kind of this like long nose type mask thing that they're wearing, and one of them with some kind of a cow print costume.
Kind of reminds me of a Primus. Primus did some masks as well.
Yeah. So here is Randy, Chuck, and Bob, where the ones just kind of got like a top half mask on, looking like an old man, and then the other two with those kind of black head coverings with all the things coming out, like wires for hair type of thing. So that was a look that they had for the concerts that I saw live. So yeah, they've gone through lots of. Here they are as a photo shoot for Meet the Residents, as John Crawfish, Paul Crawfish, George Crawfish, and Ringo Starfish. So yeah. So they've worn lots of different costumes over the years, but lots of pictures of them in eyeballs exist because that was really the iconic look. Here they are wearing newspapers that they wore for the video that they shot for the Third Reich and Roll album. More eyeball. Here are these other costumes that the actual full costume is like a bodysuit that looks like eyeballs and skull. That was a different look that they were using. I think that was during the Cube E tour. And hey, Hestia came up. Oh no, you're jumping down. And there's the dead one.
This did not happen. The cat said it was found out.
BoobTube writes in, Gator should go as the Hamburglar. I could do that.
Yeah, that's a cool idea.
That's a burglar costumes are certainly abundant, and it will be hard to just have a cheeseburger in my hand to do that. Hamburglar.
What about Mayor McCheese? Isn't that better than Hamburglar?
Well, Mayor McCheese would be a little more harder to pull off because you have to have a head that's a burger.
But there would be a costume for that.
Probably. Now, Dune asking how many times I've seen The Residents. 3 times. I saw them twice in San Francisco and once in Boston.
Okay.
Yeah. And 2 of the 3 times I saw them was when Hardy Fox was still in the band.
So what is your Halloween costume contest?
It's not a contest. It's a party, and it's on Saturday night.
Okay.
So I got to get my order in fast.
So that means you'll be listening to the 5-hit over their big sound system during the party.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, if I hijack the sound system, I possibly could pull that off. But also next Monday is a very special day.
Do I get to nap all day? Oh wait, no. That's not napping day.
It seems like we just did this a few weeks ago, but next week is time for the annual retelling of the tree story.
Oh, there you go. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. It's about that time, isn't it?
It is. It's tree time.
It is. Yeah, next Monday will be the day before Halloween. So we got to tell that story again.
You haven't done that often.
Sparky goes, yeah, I remember the tree story.
No, Sparky doesn't remember. Oh, I remember band.
So, anyways.
I was just doing my standard Grim Reaper. I have a big black cloak thing, and
I've I know when I was really young, I had a pump. My mom used to make our Halloween costumes when we were really young. They would have the fabric kit that you bought that was the type of thing that was like basically a type of thing that's like a large apron type of thing. So it was like a fabric pattern that you cut it out, you hemmed it, and then I think you had the strings tied behind. So I had one that was a pumpkin that also came with a stem cap, and they bought like green makeup that was like witch makeup, so that they could paint my face green to be like the rest of the stem to go with the pumpkin costume.
Oh, there you go.
One year I had a skeleton costume because I think my mom bought the pumpkin and skeleton costume at the same time. I'm like, well, what's the skeleton costume for? She goes, well, that's for another year. They were on sale, so I bought them all.
Hell, yeah.
So there was
I take it there was sewing involved.
yeah.
You get the fabric that comes with the pattern. You sew the sucker and you're done.
You cut on the dotted line, you hem it
Yeah.
with a sewing machine, and you're done. It was pretty straightforward.
Yes.
And I think my it would have been my brother got a clown costume like that. When he's really there might be pictures of that around somewhere still. In a
Pictures
drawer.
on your Super 8, so it's in black and white.
No, well, all the Super 8 that my dad shot was in color, but that was only on Christmas generally.
Oh, yeah.
So, no, it'd be still 35 millimeter pictures that might be in my my dad has a drawer of all the pictures we've taken over the years. It's the type of stuff you go through when someone dies. But
Gators, how close is this party to the tree?
not close enough.
Oh, okay.
No.
So you wouldn't want to have the costume party and everybody prance around the tree in the costumes.
I don't feel like getting all my cousins arrested
Well, why not?
because I like my cousins.
So, or get permission from the owner, because that's private property, right? That's
I don't know who the owner is, and if I go, hey, I want to bring my Halloween party there, that's the type of thing that the owner is.
we're only interested in being at the tree.
There'll only
Yeah,
be a
that-
couple pentagrams on the ground. It's fine. No worries.
And the guy would say, "Yeah, when are you going to come? I'll be sure to call the cops ahead of time."
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Devil's Tree is a half-hour drive from my cousin's place.
It's not bad, actually.
That's not great.
Are you going to
No.
stop by the tree on the way to or from the party?
And you know the
It's-
cops are going to be sitting there
The
patrolling
devil's-
the area.
The Devil's Tree is a half-hour past their house, the direction I'm coming to their house from.
So it's totally not worth it to do a show of the show.
It's no. Besides, I believe last year I said I would go in 2 years' time because at that point that would be how many years?
A lot.
God, a lot. It would be a
Gators
lot.
are
Of,
old.
So it would be like a big anniversary.
I'm not. I don't think. I reserve the right to back out of promises I make.
Oh, you do?
But, yeah, I absolutely do because
Oh,
no one
okay.
can make me. But no, 2000 and actually no, we still got another few years because 2006. No, I take that back. 2006 was when I started the show. 2005 was when we did that first fill-in show and we told the story. So 2004 was the year it took place.
So next year.
So next year will be the 20th anniversary.
There you go.
So if I were to go back, next year would be the year to do it.
There you go.
But yeah,
That would be an incentive for a half-hour drive.
I really don't want to go back. I was told to never come back.
What? You gonna go to the tree and never come back?
He didn't say get out of here and don't come back for the next 20 years. He said get out of here and don't come back.
Wait, how old was this guy? It was a police officer, right?
The younger officer was the dick that was like
Okay, how old was he? He's probably like 80 now, 75, 80 years old.
he was probably in his 30s.
You know what? I say statute of limitations. He's not a cop anymore. I say you have free reign.
Statute of
maybe he's just
limitations is
retired.
not a factor of committing an additional crime. There's no statute of limitations on going back. It's going back. It's trespassing again.
They're not gonna recognize you. It's fine. You have a car that works.
Dune writes in, we are going. Okay, Dune, we are going.
There you
We
go.
are going. Okay. If Dune flies out here I will go with him to the tree.
Nice.
So yes, next year we are going. Dune is coming out
The
here.
dude's like, I'm gonna be there, and I'm bringing you more Post-it notes.
He wrote in, yes, we. Okay, so Dune's flying out here for this next year. Yeah, I think Dune also has the same conditions that I have, that he reserves the right to go back on
So
his.
what you do, you go back and you wear your NHB COVID mask so no one can recognize you, and
Oh,
you'll be
there we
fine.
go.
Yeah,
There we go.
there you
Yeah.
go. No one can recognize you.
It's okay. We're wearing masks. You're trespassing on private property. Yeah, but we have our masks on.
Yeah, you can't tell who we are. It's fine.
Yeah. Sharky writes, wait, next year will be how many years? 20 years from when the thing took place.
It is
And-
ancient. Remember
And
this.
we've told this story just about every year since then. Now, I think there was a few years that I missed it, that I didn't tell the story. But out of the years since since 20 years ago, I have told it. I think I've only missed 2 or 3 years at most.
Mhm.
So yes, 2004, Halloween 2004 is when Gothard and I drove down to Jersey for a weekend and pack a bunch of my stuff up into his car. I was still in the process of relocating my stuff from my parents' house to Maine. So Sparky writes in, I thought it was in the 80s. Dude, I was born in 79. If I
Oh
don't
my goodness. Oh no.
I would have been a kid being harassed by the police for being at a tree. Sparky writes, well, 1989. You know, I guess he thought it was even longer ago. You know, no, it was 2004. We were young adults in our 20s doing this, which is why the police were like, what the hell are you doing here? A bunch of 20-something-year-olds. Like, they were pissed off that we were not teens, because if we were teens, they would have just hauled us in and busted us and called our parents. But being that we were not teens, it's like, oh God, we got adults. What the hell are you guys doing here, man? You know, booking you is going to be a pain in the ass. Just get out of here.
Pretty much.
That's pretty much the gist of what happened. What? You're adults? Oh God.
But we'll talk about it next Monday.
We will talk about that next Monday. It's what we will do. So yeah, no, I was not a 10-year-old being bad. I was a 20-something-year-old.
Oh.
A 25-year-old actually.
Fine.
Yeah, 25-year-old dudes hanging out at a haunted tree.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's actually about normal time.
Yeah, no, I say there was nothing. Now the police think there was something wrong with it, but
Well, please don't know.
yeah. Well, they just pissed off that they didn't get to hang out at the tree.
Well, they could have.
They could have, but they were
You
not
would
cool.
Say, hey, you can hang out in the tree too. We're not gonna say anything.
Yeah,
Don't worry
no,
about it. It's all
I would
good.
I'm like, dude, we'll be cool. We'll be cool.
Yeah.
Come hang out with us.
Yeah, we'll get you a couple beer. We've been drinking in the car. We have a couple open. It's
Here,
fine.
you want to hit?
Yeah, I'm sure they'd be like, oh, okay, sure. Oh,
Dude writes in with underage girls and cock soup. No, cock flavored soup mix. Cock flavored soup.
okay.
Sparky writes in 2004, I made a job change that was for the better. Yeah, me too. Yeah, around there.
I was still working at my job.
I don't, you know, I moved up to Maine. I worked at Walmart for a summer, and then I got a bank teller job for a year, and then there was an opening in the IT. So I made a lot of transitions in those few years that got me into being a IT professional. Because mind you, I moved up to Maine without much of a plan. My plan was, well, Gothard and I both went to school for music recording, and so I had no idea what. Well, you know, when you start college, 4 years is a long time when you're a kid, and 4 years is a long time when you're in school, and all anyone tells you is how fast it goes. And I don't think high school felt like it went that fast, but then again, it did. It does, it doesn't, you know. So when you start college, you think, I got 4 years to figure out what to do with the rest of my life. I'll be fine. I remember.
Yes, that is what they say.
Well, I remember day one of college. We were all the music students were in a big room, and they had us walk around the room and introduce ourselves. You know, say what our name is, what our major is, because there were 3 types of music majors. There were music education majors, there was music performance majors, and there was music recording technology majors. So, you know, introduce yourself, what major you're in, and, you know, what your goal is to do with your education here when you graduate, which is a question I was not prepared to answer. So you basically listen to everyone else's answer, and that's what everyone does, because every music recording technology person pretty much got to, you know, my name is so and so, I'm a music recording technology major, and you know, I hope to work in a recording studio, and hey, you know, maybe I'll even open up my own little small studio for myself, do my own thing, work for myself. Every music recording technology person copied that first answer of, you know, work in the recording studio. Maybe I'll start my own little
Did
studio.
anybody say they wanted to work in the Channel Islands at a music store?
No one said that.
Oh.
No one.
Oh.
But
Damn,
you know,
missed opportunity.
I know.
So even Gothard gave that answer, and I gave that answer. We all gave that answer. And so I kind of, you know, stuck in my mind, like, you know, that seems to be like if there was like a level of like opportunities, you know, it seemed to be that the high, if you're going to reach high, it would be your own boss, start your own little project studio, and make, you know, it successful enough that you can live off of, to have little local projects or whatever, have your own little studio. That seemed to be the if you're going to reach high. So after we graduated, you know, Seth and I went back to our homes to live with our parents' house and pursue some summer work and whatever. Seth pursued a job working at a video rental place. It also sold hi-fi and stereo equipment, and he got into the stereo installation field there, which was, you know, good enough work that he actually did that for a number of years and made money doing that. He eventually did it for himself, and then decided that he hated doing it, and was able to take an opportunity to go back for further education, and he's now gone into massage therapy. But at the time, I thought, well, I can't afford to live in Jersey. I am so sick of living with my parents. And I love Maine. I thought maybe me and him, maybe if we're going to reach for the stars and reach for start our own little project studio, maybe it'd be better if 2 people work together at that than one person do it on their own. So I kind of was like, hey, Seth, what do you say? We like team up together, start a studio or something. He goes, yeah, we could do that. I'm like, okay, well, I can move up to Maine and we could do that. And they're like, yeah, we could do that. So I moved up to Maine. And we talked about it a few times, but the thing is that I did not know much about how remote Maine is, because in my mind, I kind of thought like it's remote, but it's a type of place that if one wants to go and chillax and relax and record an album, like I was thinking maybe we can, like, you know, become the idea was to make a studio and name it Vacation Land Studios and advertise the remoteness of, because Maine is called Vacation Land. And so that was my angle.
I think that's a stupid name.
Vacation Land Studios?
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. That was the best idea I had about this whole plan. Was the name.
Poor Gators.
I had 2 things: the name, and I bought a mixing board off of eBay that the dude never shipped me, and I never saw a dime of that money back.
So this is why the studio never happened.
Well, really, it never happened because it wouldn't have succeeded. Really, our best.
But how far did you get? You placed an order, you didn't get it, then what?
Well, then I basically saw that there wasn't clientele coming in here, and not to mention there were people in more populated
I'm
areas.
sorry, come into where? You didn't have a studio.
Lincolnville, Camden. Here's the thing.
How did you advertise? You just kind of sit there and wait for people to show up.
You're asking me to sum up 10 years.
So
It's not like it's not like I gave up overnight.
Did you do one thing? I mean, a second thing.
Here's
You place an order, then what
well,
did you do?
well, before I place another order, I need to figure out where I was going to set up a studio. But in the meantime, I started looking up and talking to other people, and I found there were other people in the area that had little home project studios, and I actually went to one of them because the dude was trying to figure out how to set up some kind of a Pro Tools setup.
Alexa, stop.
And
Did you
so
help with doing that?
we
You could say,
spent
hey, I could be your expert.
we spent an afternoon with him, and we basically said, well, it's going to need this, that, and this, and it's going to cost that. And he's like, no, I'm not convinced. I'm like, well, we could take a look at it. He goes, okay, take a look. So I took a look at what he had. He had a copy of a disc someone made for him that required equipment he didn't have. We ran through the installers and got stuck because it's not finding the right drivers or the right things. And so I basically said, hey, look, here's what happened. What happens is you got this software that requires this type of hardware, and you don't have that. So what you really need to do is you need to purchase a package, which is like this. And if you go to this website, it looks like it's about this price range. And if you were to buy that, we could probably help you set it up. He goes, okay, that sounds like a pitch. Why don't you put something together and get back to me? I'm like, yeah, we'll do that. Now, mind you, this was Gothard's contact. I was just along for the ride, and I ended up doing all the talking. So we got out of there. I'm like, all right, Gothard, what's the contact? What are we going to send him? He's like, oh, never mind. Gothard never got back to him, and I didn't want to pursue it without him because it was his contact. And
I would have asked Gothard right there, hey, you mind if I pursue this then? Because, the guy needs some help, and it might be a little extra dollar and some extra
Hey, and that would have been a foot in the door in that industry.
Yeah, that would have been a nice little foot in the door.
Here's the thing. I talked a good talk that day, but I was only half convinced that I could do what I was promising. And so it was a lot of pressure. It would have been a lot of pressure for me to call him back and to actually try to deliver on that.
Were you walking at Walmart?
At this point I was working at the bank. And
Did you ever call you guys back?
And as I pursued, as I got my foot in the IT door and pursued that career, I fell into that. And I just, at what point do I have time to start a business?
Well, that I understand.
So it kind of,
because when I was working at Radio Shack, this guy bought a bunch of speakers and I think some kind of an amplifier or maybe a receiver. And he hired me to set the speakers up and the receiver in his business greenhouse.
That day. Nice.
And for a greenhouse, these were pretty decent speakers. They were not. I mean, they were Radio Shack. Well, what the hell?
Oh, were they those cool little metal speakers with the brackets on the back? Those were really neat speakers.
The Minimus.
Yeah, those are really kind of cool speakers.
Yeah, those were cool. What he bought actually was one of these particle board speakers. I forget which model it was.
Oh, okay.
They weren't great, but they weren't bad. They sounded decent.
Those were really neat. I really like those speakers. I wish I could have gotten a pair, but
I bought these Panasonic
Huh?
Metal speakers. I thought these will be a lot like the Radio Shack ones. They are not.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, wow, these just don't really put it out.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, well.
So, anyways, that's, you know, I basically found out a little bit about the local small studio scene. And yeah, there would have been little side jobs there. There was no full-time gig there. And by the time I was, you know, seeing that there were contacts there to make, because it was like, it's kind of like I went in with the plan to run without crawling and walking. And then when you get there, reality hits that, like, you don't just build a studio and invite Aerosmith over. You gotta crawl, you gotta walk. And I got a paying gig, and I didn't feel like giving up all my free time to pursue that. I'm like,
Sure.
I'm happy doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. And that there's nothing wrong with that. You're quote unquote, okay, don't take this as offense. You're a dumb kid that's just getting out on their own. You know,
Right.
don't take that as an offense, but you're a dumb kid going on his own and trying something new. And most of the times it doesn't exactly go the way you're gonna go. You know, it's just a matter of fact. But you got a decent paying job, and you're where you are now. I mean, honestly, if you'd started a music studio, something might have been different then.
Right.
But you know,
See, it all comes down to, if I had dreams of being a record music producer and that was like my top dream, this would be a point in life, or there would have been a point in lives where I'd look at regret at the missed opportunities. Because I did pass up some opportunities that.
Well, when you get this,
let me finish the thought.
Sure.
I did pass up opportunities to sacrifice my time and put a lot of work into it, and I probably could have achieved something different there. But that was never my top priority. My top priority was to basically live a happy life with people and start and pursue a relationship with someone and get married and have that kind of a life. And whether I worked with technology or computers or music or record producing was not as important to me as that. So when I fell into an IT job that was comfortable, I kind of, left the record producer dream behind. And on one hand, maybe it is a missed opportunity. Maybe it is something that I could have done, but I have no regrets.
So here's the other thing. If you decided to become a record producer, you'd also have to understand business. Did your music recording stuff have some business components to it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they usually.
Oh, so you could have gotten that. You just needed to build that experience.
It wasn't my strong point in the classes I took, but
Sure.
I did have those music business classes. I tell you though, taking music business classes kind of like knocks you down on your ass and makes you question if this is what you really want.
Oh, yeah. Well, see,
but then again, that's every business.
Not really. Well, in fact, I know people.
Every industry's got their ugliness. If you're going to be ambitious,
we knew a guy at Tharco that went off to be his own consulting business. That was Carl, right?
Okay.
Well, he found out that as a contractor, he didn't have health insurance.
Right.
So there was this and that and the other thing. He decided, the hell with this. Now he works for a company again, making a lot more money, but.
Dune writes in, no regrets, my credo. And then Sparky goes, so did you move from Maine to California? Yeah, that's what happened. So in Maine, I got comfortable working my IT job and living a comfortable life in a remote area of Maine. I started the show in 2005 with Gothard. Kristen was a listener to the show. We started talking, and and she was finishing up art school in San Francisco and planning to stay in the area after she graduated. So I knew that this was serious, and so I moved out there. We moved in together, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I mean,
because that also at Tharco, you got some more experience in the IT world.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, is that really, I mean, if I continued working side hustles and side gigs while trying to pursue the music industry stuff, I would have not been prepared to move for a relationship and start supporting because one thing I had when I was in Maine, Gothard and I basically, Gothard's parents bought us a trailer to put on land that their family owned to live in, and we just paid the monthly payment on the trailer, nothing for land. Gothard's parents owned a few plots of land up there in Maine, so we just had to basically, Gothard's parents had a line of credit to buy a trailer, do the construction work to lay down the pad, move the trailer, get things hooked up. And basically, we just paid monthly payments to pay down their line of credit while we lived there. So it was the cheapest rent. I think I was paying. I think we were paying $500 a month, the two of us, so $250 a month.
Yeah,
that is, dirt cheap back then, you know. So it wasn't the highest paying IT job I had, but certainly it made it a
Now,
a,
who
a
owns the
large
title?
leap.
Who owns the title to the trailer?
Gothard's parents.
Yeah,
And
okay.
Gothard's an
So
only
you were
child.
just
That'll
paying-
all be his.
You were just paying rent then.
I was paying rent. That's the thing. Although if I stayed there long term, then I don't know what I mean, it was never described as rent. It was described as paying for the. But then again, since Gothard's an only child, it's basically his someday type of thing. So, but I was
because when you get that job where you can move to Maine, you'll just move into the trailer and say, "Hey, this is part mine anyway."
No, it's not on any paper. Actually, I relinquished any claim I had to that, a verbal claim.
Okay.
Well, I think there was conversations about, someday we pay it off and it could be ours. And so maybe if we ever sold it someday, there would have been some splittings if I stayed there. But so when I at some point when I started thinking about if I ever meet someone and move away, I'm obligated to pay off half this trailer. And Gothard basically said, "Don't worry about that. If you need to move, you move, and me and my family will take care of it. It'll just consider it rent at that point." And so that's really what it came to. We basically there were little verbal conversations. There was never anything formal. I'm not even sure if I fully understood everything right, but at some point when I knew that I was destined to go somewhere else, it was basically, "You've been paying rent, and we will." Thank you, and we'll keep the trailer. And I'm like, fine by me. I paid rent, and that was the cheapest rent I'll ever pay. I have no claim on this. Yeah. Someone else is living in the trailer now. But Gothard's parents are renting it to someone because
I was gonna say, hopefully the parents know about the person living in the trailer.
No, they're renting it. It was because remember the trailer was in the property behind Grammy's house, and so when I went up and visited Gothard recently, Gothard and Mike have been staying in Grammy's house in the warmer months because it's right on that lake there.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so I actually went up there and they put me up in Grammy's attic. They have some guest beds up in the attic up there, which is an attic with a floor and lights and power. Not finished, but it's got lights and floor and power.
Did you find any knobs and tubes up there?
No. Keep in mind, Gothard's dad is an electrician, so he keeps up on all that.
Oh, so he actually knows what he's doing. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah,
he's not like a high school kid.
He taught me everything I know.
Wait.
Yeah. I had many phone consultations with him through my project here.
Oh.
He's kept. In fact, they recently redid a lot on that house to insulate it
nice.
after Grammy's passing.
Yeah.
So I got to stay. It was really weird staying in Grammy's house with the trailer up. You look out the window, you see the trailer up there that used to be home, and someone else is living in there, and I'm staying in Grammy's house. It was a very weird. But then again, any visit to Maine is kind of weird because you can never go home again.
Yeah.
But anyways, we need to find someone to raid is what we need to do.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know what we've decided on for my Halloween costume. I'm either going to get a 404 shirt or probably I don't know. Maybe I could do the Bob Ross thing. Anyways,
that would be cool. The Bob Ross thing would be cool.
It would be cool. I guess I could do that. I can get a wig. I can get a blue shirt. I can go buy some jeans because I haven't bought jeans in ages. So even if I have a pair of jeans, there's no way they fit me. And if I did get into a pair of jeans that I have from back then, there's no way I'd ever get them off again. So
you know what I would do is have a Mr. Green Jeans costume.
Okay, Boomer, but
you know how many kids are gonna know who Mr. Green Jeans is, Brian? Not many kids are gonna know that.
Frank
And
Zappa wrote a
honestly,
song about him.
The problem is, if I saw Mr. Green Jeans, I'd take a bunch of ping pong balls and throw them at him.
I've
That's
heard of
just
Mr.
me.
Green Jeans, but I have no idea what he looks like. Anyways, let's see who's around to raid. Well, we got Ray Rachel, we got Lyle, but I don't think Lyle needs a. Man, I don't see anyone live that I know today. It's kind of a slow day.
Yeah, well, Monday. People were like napping after the weekend. I know it was hard for me to get up today.
Yeah.
I was at my sister's barbecuing all weekend, so I was like, oh, dude, God, that's not. Life
So,
was not easy to get up.
I guess we could raid Ray Rachel. So, anyways, but before we do that, we do try to be educational here on.
Insert title here.
And I think we've all learned a lot. So, Mars, what have you learned this week?
I learned that the toilets are fixed, but you still have a leaky pipe.
And Brian, what have you learned this week?
I just now learned you cannot get a Mr. Green Jeans costume. There are these green characters, and you kind of go, no. In fact, there's this one full body suit, big green blob.
And I learned that Mr. Green Jeans' jeans were actually overalls.
Yep.
That is. And I also learned that Mr. Green's jeans were actually gray because
it was
all
black
the
and white.
Because it was black and white, which makes me question if they were actually green at all.
Mr. Gray Jeans?
Mr. Gray Jeans. They could have been. They could have been standard blue jean overalls, and they just called them green jeans and been like, "Trust us, they're green." Which,
So I figured out your perfect costume, Gators.
yes,
Here's what it is: the hamburger outfit, right, with an eyeball mask and a Bob Ross fro on top, right there.
Yeah,
perfect.
That is something that could happen. So we'll be reporting back next week with what happened and with the tree story.
Ooh,
But in the meantime, let's go ahead and let's raid. Where did Ray Rachel go? Oh my God, I don't think Ray
just
Rachel.
leave.
Oh no, she bumped up on the list because she's gotten more viewers. Okay,
Stupid moving lists.
All right, so we're gonna go raid Ray Rachel, and we'll see you over there. We'll see you back here next week. We'll see you on the Dune and Johnny show on Sunday. I should be home by then because I'll be coming back home Sunday morning. But all right, you have a great week, and we'll see you.
Bye.
And there we go.
When I'm at a con. That's just me.
All right.